get started here pretty soon. Just waiting on some more people to hop in. You know what I mean? People like to come to things late. I see
well, I showed up to the last ones late, so I showed up to this early. So, you know.
Hey, Hussein, are you there? I don't know if. Oh, okay. All right. I see in the chat. Let me bring this chat up real quick. All right. One person's waiting. Okay. All right. Maxo, what's up, man? You in here? I don't think. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. Hi, CP. Oh, I just got. All right. All right, guys. Yeah. So, oh, there goes Troy. I wish this would just let people in. I don't have to keep, going in the waiting room here. All right. There we go. All right. Cool. All right, guys, we're going to get started here before too long. Pretty excited tonight. I think it's going to be super dope. Hopefully, all you guys can hear me. And I'll tell you one thing. I'm not hearing anybody except for you, Mike. You're the only one that I'm hearing.
That's why I try to get this early to make sure this stuff worked.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. You're all set.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, what's up, bro?
What's up, man? It's good to hear from you.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I appreciate you being here. This is gonna be super dope, man. I cannot wait to get started. We're gonna get started here in a couple of minutes. I'm just kind of waiting for a couple other, more people to hop in. Oh, straight from the Golden Gate Bridge. It's Troy Valor.
So, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. You're good. Did you get a green screen?
No, this is just like if you go to the bottom of Zoom. Well, I'm on an iPhone, but if I to the bottom of Zoom, I can switch my background. It just does it.
Real?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I did not expect that. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm just waiting on a few more people because there's over 20 people that registered, for the live event here, and we've only got 5 in here, so I'm probably gonna wait till 8:10, and then I'll get started. But just know, that we're going to. This is gonna be so dope, man. I mean, obviously, we're gonna be talking about displaying your value, communicating that, how that plays in with your identity. But on top of that, we're going to do Q&A. We're going to do, I'm giving away a couple of things. And so I'm just really excited to be doing this. I'm glad you guys are here. And I know that you're going to get a lot out of it. Is that a kid back there?
Yeah, that's my son.
He was like, what? Where do you live, bro?
Dude, I'm in Eugene, Oregon.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I've been in Eugene before, man. I've never seen more homeless people per capita than Eugene, Oregon, bro, in my entire life. I remember I was walking past the bus station, and it was like a shanty town. Mad homeless kids, man.
Dude, it's worse now. I mean, if you think about it.
Dude,
they have camps now. They even have camps with garages for their car.
Real? Dude, is there, you may or may not know, and I don't know if this place is still open or what, because this was years ago. Is there, are you hip to a Jamaican pizza place?
No, was that like downtown area?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Oh,
been so
all right.
long. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Back when I used to do music, man, when I used to tour a lot, the Jamaican pizza place, they had a hip hop night, and anytime I was in the area, you know, they would bring me out. So I forgot the name of it, but it was a dope spot, man. You don't really see Jamaican pizza places. It was unique for sure, man. But yeah, Eugene's crazy with the homeless people, man. I remember I was driving from where was I at, dude? Um, it, is Eugene north or south of Portland?
South.
South.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I was driving from Eureka, California one time. I was going from Eureka, California to Portland. That's what it was. And just like that freeway, man, like just seeing like roaming bands of homeless people walking up and down the freeway. It was like something out of like Mad Max or something, like post-apocalypse. You know what else freaked me out? Dude, this like flipped my lid, man. Those dirt devils.
Yeah.
You know, I'm driving. The first time I was out that way, I'm driving, and I'm like, what are all those like little tornadoes?
Yeah. So you see them all over.
Yeah, dude. I was like,
Yeah.
what is going on out here? It was crazy.
But there's not a lot of going on over here, man. I gotta go to Portland to really feel, like that big city.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. It's
Well,
just
I mean, you got the college there, though, right? Isn't that where you was?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, just what time is it? Let me see. Okay, another 5 or 6 minutes, and we'll get it started. I can't wait forever. You know what I mean? So, all right.
It's like Hussein's in here, but
He is, but his mic isn't on and his camera isn't on.
Huh.
This is great. I've never done a Zoom session with a multitude of people.
I'm
And
here, guys. Can you guys hear me?
Like, oh, what's up, dude?
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah. All right. There he is. What's up, man?
I'm fine. And you? What about you?
Good, man. Good.
Yeah.
Your mic to me is a little bit low. I don't know if it's my computer or if it's
Probably my.
okay. Yeah, I've never done a Zoom like with a gang of people before, and I don't know how does it know who to jump to? Like whenever somebody starts talking, it just jumps to them.
Yeah, I think it's just like whoever's the loudest. It just like picks on their
Oh,
voice.
all right. So I'm also like, I see you now, Troy. Does everybody else see Troy?
Yeah, I see him.
Oh, okay. All right. I just wondered if it was just me since I'm the host. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
guys, phone or computer?
All right, 5 more minutes, and then we'll get started. So, all right, cool. Appreciate you guys being a part of Modern Valor Dating. I think that's really dope. I hope that you guys are getting a lot of value in the group and with what it is that we're doing, the content that we put out, the YouTube channel, the Instagram page, just everything that we put out there, man. We always strive to for it to be informative, but even more than informative, I hope that people find it somewhat entertaining as well, I guess, so I think it's really dope that you guys are a part of it. And, again, I truly hope that you're getting a lot of value out of it, so, all right, let me check the time. All right, 4 more minutes. I'm going to start. So, well, that's kind of whack, man. I mean, Jesus, 20 people registered, over 20 people actually. Where's everybody at?
Hey, Dale, are you on your computer or on your phone?
I'm on my computer. Why?
Oh, okay. Just wondering. I've only ever used this on my phone, actually.
I've never used it on my phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering how it was on the computer because like I can make it to where like I see only the person talking, or if I swipe over, I can see like pretty much everybody.
I wonder if I can do that.
I can switch the zoom on here to do that as well on the computer version.
Oh, okay.
You can pick which different view you want.
Is it the same like depending on which computer you have, or is it like different for like a Mac versus like something else?
I don't know. I have a Mac.
Oh, okay.
I think they just use a Zoom format. I don't think it really matters which PC you use, Mac or HP.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just the phone. I think it seems to be easiest.
Right. Let's see what time it is. All right, 2 more minutes, and then I'm just going to get started. So, hopefully, you guys had a good Christmas. I know I did. Just the simple fact that I didn't really have to go anywhere or do anything was kind of nice, because, like, I mean, I still did some Modern Valor dating stuff, but you know, it was nice to not have any commitments for one day. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a nice little day off, you know. And for those that don't know, today is also my birthday. So
Right, man.
Happy birthday.
well,
Oh
thanks,
yeah,
man.
happy birthday, man.
I appreciate that. So didn't really do anything. You know, I mean, it's not too hard to figure out, but my birthday is at a very shitty part of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like the day after Christmas is like,
You got all your gifts yesterday.
well, if I get gifts, you know what I mean? Like it's way too close to Christmas, and it's sandwiched between New Year's, and the weather sucks, and just a litany of things. So usually on my birthday, what I try to do is I try to, and I did this today, is just volunteer my time at today I did at a homeless shelter, you know, because to me, you know, this is just me. I'm not saying this is how everybody has to be, but just for me personally, it's a thing of like, it's a reminder of, oh, here goes. Oh, I gotta let somebody in here. It's a reminder of that, you know, I was put on this earth for a purpose. And what up, Tony? Thanks for hopping in, bro. You know, I was put on this earth for a purpose, and it helps remind me of that. You know, like your birthday, it's like everybody celebrates the fact that you were born, like you did something. Like you were just born, man. You know, like your mom did more work than you. You know,
kind of raggedy, but I'm
be born. You know, so
like, I don't even know how I got bleaching and shit. Like,
what's
I don't
that?
understand how that happened.
I did not hear that. Oh, well, anyway, like I was saying, though, you know, it's just a reminder that why I'm here is to help other people. And so it just reinforces that fact for me. So usually on my birthday, I donate my time, you know. So, okay. Oh, here goes Louise. All right. What time is it? Let me see if we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So definitely appreciate you guys, you know, being a part of this live event. That's super dope. And again, I really, really, really hope that you guys get value out of the content that we put out there, being a part of Modern Valor Dating, you know, the Facebook group, the Instagram page, the YouTube channel, everything else that we do. You know, it's all to just give.
And I'm listening to a Zoom call.
It ties into what we're talking about today, because we're talking about how to display your value, how to show that intrinsic part of yourself that is so important. A lot of times guys just really don't know how to communicate. And so, I think it's really dope that you guys want to learn a little bit more about that. And we're definitely going to break it down.
Did I like that door?
I just, you know what? Like I hear somebody, but I cannot hear what they're saying or anything like that. So, but here's the deal. Oh, there he is. We're up, bro. What's up, Louise?
What's up, Dale?
Chilling, man. Chilling. You got in a little bit early, huh?
Yeah, I was able to make it on time.
That's cool though, because I kind of waited around a little bit. I was waiting for a few more people to pop in. So you came in right on time, bro. Right on time.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
Boy, I can hear you.
Perfect.
Just so you guys know, we're going to do Q&A at the end of the event here. And so, just if you have questions about what we're covering, just kind of hold on to it till the end. Don't I'm just asking you, please don't hey man, so what you were saying 5 minutes ago, can you break that down a little bit more? Or, just save it till the end. I promise you, I will stay on. I reserved this meeting for 3 hours. That doesn't mean that we're going to take up 3 hours, but I wanted to just make sure that we got everybody's questions answered. I'll stay on here for the entire 3 hours if that's what we got to do to make sure everybody gets their questions answered and all that kind of stuff. So, just hang on to the end. If you got to write it down or something like that, do that, and we'll definitely circle back to it. So, but all right, guys, again, I definitely appreciate you guys being here, being a part of this. And hopefully it's my intention that you come away from this event better than you came, So we're going to be talking for the next, I'm figuring 90 minutes, but like I said, we'll stay as long as we need to. And before this webinar ends, I promise you, you're going to be able to communicate your value effectively. All right. That's my promise to you. And when I make a promise, I deliver on that promise. I've always believed that if you put your name behind something, if you make a promise to somebody, you follow through with that, even if it pains you, even if it's super inconvenient for you, you gave your word that you were going to do it. And so it has to get done. And so that's my guarantee that I'm going to help you as much as I can to make sure you can do that effectively. This is what success looks like by the end of this event. All right. You'll be able to show who you are authentically, so the girl you're kicking it with will know exactly who you are at the core. She needs to understand that you're communicating your best self to get the kind of results that you're looking for. That's why value is so important, man. She'll want to invest in you. People invest in things that they see value in. If they don't see value in it on any level, they're not going to invest in it, right? I mean, it's basically common sense. But I think a lot of guys miss the mark with it because they're just kind of like, well, I'm me and, she should just respond. Well, yeah, you're you, but did you communicate that? Did you communicate your value, your intrinsic values, the things that you bring to the table, So for all you guys that stay on till the end, even the new people that hop in here, actually, let me just double check, make sure that there's nobody in the waiting room. Oh, okay, there's not. All right. So for all you guys that stay on to the end, I'm going to give you, if you want to take me up on it, and like I said, my word is my bond, I'll give you a free 1 hour coaching call. Okay. And I'm going to give you another gift too, but I will share that at the end. Okay. And the thing that's funny is I always tell people 1 hour coaching calls, and, a few of you guys, work with me already, and they can attest that 1 hour. I never hit that 1 hour mark. It's always like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Because I just, dude, Louise, for instance, I mean, it wasn't a coaching call, but we were on the phone for like 4 hours or something, talking about real estate or something. You know, like, it just,
Something like that.
I feel the obligation to give you as much information as I can. I hate putting a time limit on it where I have to like edit myself. Like, nah, you know, that's not as important as this other stuff. Even though that, the stuff I'm leaving out is important, it's just not as important as this other stuff. I'd rather just give it all to you, man. You know, just so you get the full scope and the full picture. I hate editing myself. So, yeah, so stick around till the end. And like I said, I will follow through with that. You know, if you guys want to take me up on it, I'll give you a free 1 hour, I put that in quotes, 1 hour coaching call, you know. So, and like I said, another gift too, which I'll break down later. So listen, you know, you guys all know me, I think. And you all know I'm Dale Valor. And, you know, but a lot of you guys don't know my backstory. And I like to break it down a little bit just because I want you to understand the vantage point that I'm coming from and where it is that, you know, where I was having sticking points and how I overcame them and kind of bring you up to now, you know. So listen, you know, I started doing game about 13 years ago, maybe 14 now. And when I got into it, man, I was young, or I wasn't young. This is what I meant to say. I was not young. A lot of you guys are like got into this like mad young, late teens, early 20s. I did not get into the game until my 30s. And the thing is, dude, when I got into it, one of the biggest sticking points that I encountered after I started seeing some success, you know, earlier my sticking points were, you know, just like anybody else for the most part, approach anxiety, things like that, you know, just very common sticking point issues that I had to work on and get better and get better. And the thing is, it took me, I would say probably 3 years to where what I would consider to be really good. Okay, hold on. Here goes somebody. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Just got to admit somebody. Okay. So I'd say it took me about 3 years to get what I would say to be really good. And not even like masterful, but just really good. And that time probably would have been truncated a lot sooner. You know, I might have gotten really good in a year and a half, maybe. If I had somebody to work with, if I had a mentor that I could go to, a coach, a guru, whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, at that point in time, those guys didn't exist in the Detroit area. And so my only resource that I had was looking up YouTube videos. That was it. And so what I did was, you know, I didn't have a community. I didn't even have a wingman. I did everything by myself. And there was a lot of bumping my head against the wall, trying to figure things out, trying to see what worked, what didn't work. And, you know, the thing is, again, if I had somebody to work with, at least a community, I feel like I would have gotten better so much quicker. But I had to rely on YouTube videos. And my introduction to game was the book, The Game by Neil Strauss. And how Neil Strauss learned in the game was from several different sources. You know, he worked with Mystery. Then he went and worked with Ross Jeffries. Then he went and worked with David D'Angelo. And then so on and so on and so on. And I thought that to be a pretty good way of going about it. So what I did was, for like a month, I would do nothing but Mystery Method. That's it. Mystery Method and nothing else. And then just try to really get dialed in on Mystery Method, see what worked for me, discard the rest. Then the next month, I moved on to Ross Jeffries and learned NLP backwards and forwards, bought a bunch of NLP books, you know, just did nothing but NLP. See what worked for me, discard the rest. And I went on and on and on and on like that. I just soaked up as much knowledge from every coach that was on YouTube that had videos that I could find. And, you know, the thing is that out of that, I saw what worked for me and what didn't. And the takeaway that I took from that was that shows me that everything works. You know, you always see like these pissing contests between guys who are like, direct game is the only way to do it. If you don't do it direct, you're doing it wrong. And then you have the indirect guys that are like, no, you're not using a strategy. If you don't use a strategy, you're cutting yourself off at the knees. You're doing it wrong. Nobody can go direct and have it be successful. You have to go indirect. No, that's not true. You can do both. Some guys tend to do better going direct. Some guys tend to do better going indirect. Okay? Some guys do well with both. You know, so that's the thing. Everything works, man. It's just about what works best for you. And once I started to figure that out and saw what worked best for me, like for me personally, and I don't have my foot in any camp that says this is the way it's got to be done. I'm just saying for me personally, indirect tends to be my more go-to way of going about it. Okay. But the thing is, this is once I started seeing successes, one of the main and really one of the real last big sticking points I had was showing value and feeling worthy of the successes that I was getting. Okay. So that's the thing, man. You know, I didn't feel worthy because it was like, I'm having these successes. How come all the girls before them, when I was terrible through my high school years, college age years, up until, 30, basically, like, how come those girls never responded to me? But now these girls that I would have thought back then were like crazy out of my league, how come they're responding to me now? Don't they know who I actually am? Like, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for them to figure it out, to be like, oh, wait a minute. I've been hoodwinked by Dale's game, And so the thing is, I just didn't feel like I deserved the success I was getting because I never got it before. So being able to understand the values that I bring to the table helped me feel that worthiness to say to myself, okay, I'm having these successes, I guess this is me. I guess this is me now. I deserve these successes because I'm getting the results. So it's just who I am now. But I was always that person. Okay. I just didn't know how to display the value and the like when I say intrinsic value, I hope you guys understand what I mean. I mean the core values that you have. Okay. That's what I mean when I say intrinsic value. All right. So, the qualities that you have that you take pride in about yourself, because much like a thumbprint, only you have the unique qualities that you have. You're the only one on planet Earth that has those qualities in that specific order. Like you may say, okay, maybe one of your values are that you're a very loyal person, we'll say. Well, loyalty in and of itself isn't that big of a deal. It's a great quality to have. There's tons of loyal people, right? Like, it's not like it's super duper rare. There's tons of loyal people. But, so that in and of itself, okay, not that big of a deal. But maybe loyalty, maybe you're assertive, maybe you're confident, maybe you're really good at cooking food, maybe you're super smart, all those qualities together that make up you. You're the only one like that on planet Earth that has that unique combination of those qualities. All right. So listen, once I got over, being able to understand my value and started being able to communicate it, that's when mastery started happening. That's when like things really started to roll, and I felt worthy of the successes that I was getting. Because honest to God, dude, I'll keep it 1 trillion with you guys. There were times I would feel guilty, like I tricked this girl somehow into liking me, you know, like where it's like she just doesn't get it, like little old me, you know, like she just doesn't get it, that I'm not the person she thinks that I am, and I must have tricked her. Well, it's not that I tricked her, it's that I influenced her. And I influenced her because she saw some of the values that I had, even though I didn't communicate all of them. And then once I was able to understand it myself and communicate it, then things started to really amp up and really started to work 1,000% better. So listen, you know, imagine being able to have the success you want, you know, for it to be a reality. And I'm telling you, by the end of this seminar, we're going to help you get there. All right. Like I said, I promise you that. So, you know, today we're talking about displaying your value. And so when I look at displaying your value, there's a lot of intricate nuance that goes along with it. But here's the thing. I think if we take 3 things and really focus and hone in on those 3 things, all the nuance will start to fall into place. Okay. So we'll call them secrets. So Dale's 3 secrets to value. All right. So here's the deal. This is secret 1. And I'm telling you, like, look, here's the deal, guys, as a side note. I'm recording this right now, and I'm going to, I'll have this video saved. Okay. If you want to go back and rewatch it, you know, you'll have access to it. Okay. Cause I know how I am. I talk fast a little bit, and you know, I don't want you to miss out on anything. But if it was me, I would take some notes, you know, jot some ideas down that you can focus on later. You know, so just food for thought. All right. So secret 1. All right. How to display your value organically. All right. What do I mean by organically? Well, what I mean is by your body language, your tonality, the way that you carry yourself. Man, that says so much about you. Just the way that you carry yourself. It speaks volumes about who you are as a person. If I showed you a picture of a guy that's like, you know, looking down at his shoes and just kind of like, you know, his shoulders, you know, slunched over and like that. If you just saw a picture of a guy like that, your initial thought would be, that guy's depressed. Okay. For good reason, because his body language communicates that. Your tonality. If you don't speak up to people and you don't, you know, it's not clear and with good diction and good pacing and all that kind of thing, if you don't do that, it says a lot about you. If you speak, I knew this girl once who she spoke super fast, like ridiculously fast, and she didn't speak very loud either. So she'd be like, and it was hard to understand her. And the reason why people talk really, really fast like that is because psychologically, they don't think that people care enough what she has to say to pay attention for very long. So she has to get out everything in a short amount of time before that person stops paying attention to her. And people pick up on that. People notice that kind of thing. And so, again, tonality is really, really important. Now, this is a false belief that many, many, many people have. And I'm going to break that false belief for you. It's that you're just born that way. You know, you're just born the way that you carry yourself. You're just born how you sound, the tone of your voice, and the way that you present yourself to the world. You're just born that way. Well, no, that's not true. You can work on things so they can improve. They can get better. You know, it's almost like this. You know, if you don't like look, you want to work out and you want to get in shape. You have to go to the gym and do it, right? Because otherwise, if you don't, you're never going to get there. So you could just say, well, I wasn't born, you know, super ripped and, you know, being able to throw up 250 on the bench press and all that stuff. I wasn't born like that, so it's just never going to happen. Well, if you get in the gym and you work out, and you got a personal trainer like my man Louise here, you get a personal trainer and you start working with that person who knows a thing or two about how to throw some weights around and knows diet and knows schedule and routines and to be diligent and have self-discipline, you'll get there. Sooner or later, you will get there, okay? You weren't just born that way. You put in the effort. You put in the work. This is no different, man. So listen, there is, I don't know how many of you guys have seen this or not, but there's a video that we put out on our YouTube channel. And if you're not a subscriber to our YouTube channel, I cannot say enough how important I think it is that you are, because we put out content all the time. We've got over 120 videos up there. And, you know, the library is constantly growing. And there's just so much good content and good information up there that I think it's in your best interest to go there and check it out and subscribe to the channel. But nonetheless, we got a video up there about how to do a particular exercise to help work on your body language. Okay. So what it is, I'll break it down real quick. You know, you basically, debating if I should just show you against the wall, but nah, forget it. So what you do basically is you put your heels against the wall, your calves against the wall, your butt against the wall, you know, your shoulder blades up against the wall, the back of your head up against the wall. You want to be as flat against that wall as you can, okay? And what you do is, you know, you put your arms up, put your elbows, the back of your elbows against the wall and your fingers against the wall. And you basically, with your arms, kind of do like a jumping jack type of thing. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I don't know if it's like really showing up on the camera. But basically, you're wanting to, you know, do a jumping jack type of motion just with your arms though. And then you do that 30 times. When you step away from that wall, how you're standing, the position that you're in is how you should carry yourself, okay? Now, that feeling will go away after a few minutes, all right? But if you do that consistently, I do it every day. I mean, there's days I miss, okay? I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I do it. You know, I've done it for the last 4 years, never missed a day. But the thing is, if you do it every day or close to as every day as you can, pretty soon what will happen is your body will just start, the muscle memory will just start acclimating towards the way that you're standing and the way that you're walking. When you walk away from that wall, you look like a man that walks with purpose. You look like you got somewhere to be because you got shit to handle. Okay, that's the way that you're coming across. You know, your shoulders are back, your chest is out, your chin is up. And you just feel powerful in your stride, man. And that's why that's important, because A, the muscle memory, but B, it reminds you every day, that's how I'm supposed to walk. So when I first started doing that exercise, I would catch myself throughout the course of the day, not walking like I know that I'm supposed to be walking and just carrying myself. And I would think like, okay, whoop, caught myself slipping. All right, let me straighten up. All right, now I'm good. But I know how to straighten up. I know what position I need to be in, you know, from doing that exercise. Okay. So, all right. Now, the second part of it is the tonality part. And God damn it, I should have grabbed, I didn't even think about it. I should have grabbed a towel. Well, all right, I'll just do it. I'll just demonstrate without a towel as best I can. So, here's the deal. Tonality is important because as you guys know, or at least you probably know, if you're ever in a loud environment, usually loud environments are good for game. Okay, whether it's a club, a concert, a loud, kind of popping bar, I got music playing and shit. Those types of environments are often good for game, So you want to be able to be louder than the environment around you. You get one what? So what I mean by that is if a girl, you're talking to a girl, and if she's like, what? And you're still the same volume, she's not gonna pay attention to you. Okay. And another part of it too is if you are talking to a group of people, okay, it's only gonna take one of them to not hear what you're saying to kill the whole thing. Because what happens? Say you're talking to a three set. There's 3 girls that you're talking to, okay, at some loud environment. And if one of them cannot hear you, she's going to get bored. And she's going to to her friend that's next to her, oh my God, look at this guy just texted me. And then they're going to tell the other girl. And then one of them's going to have to go to the bathroom. Or one of them's like, oh, this is my jam's out. I want to go dance. And then it's a wrap. You've lost control of the situation. But if they can all hear you because of your loud, booming voice, you have you got them all. And that's what you have to do. You have to be able to keep them all. Okay? So, and also in a quieter setting, say you're doing, say you're at the mall or something like that, it is an attractive quality to be able to articulate yourself, to be able to just have a domineering voice. Okay. So I do sales, right? As many of you guys know, I own a couple of real estate companies, and one of the sales tactics that I like to use is to always be louder than the person I'm talking to. The reason for that is that it's an intimidating, not that I'm trying to scare them or anything like that, but I don't want them to ever think that they can try to boss up on me. So, I mean, I'm nice, I'm cordial, I'm polite and all that kind of thing, but I am louder. I'm louder than them. And then, it does help. I'm naturally kind of a louder guy, but it is something that you can work on. It's a skill set that you can improve. So here's how to do that. All right. Basically, what you want to do is, this is going to look ridiculous. All right. It's a good thing we're recording this because, I don't know, somebody's going to chop this up at some point in time, probably, and make me look like a jackass. But all right. So what you want to do is you want to take this part of your hand. Okay. Like you got your hand here, and then the whatever, hint, whatever right here, you want to put under your lower lip. Okay. Then what you want to do is you want to open your mouth, stretch your jaw as much as you can without it hurting. If it's hurting, then you're doing too much. Okay. But just like stretching a muscle before maybe you're going to go for a jog, you stretch your leg muscle. Same thing. So what you do is you do that and you just pull down on your chin. Okay. And what it does is your jaw muscles, it stretches them. Okay. So you do that. I usually count to, I don't know, 20, something like that. If it's starting to hurt, you stop. But, you just stretch it out like this. Okay. Now, the second part of it is once you get done with that,
Hey, Dale.
get a towel or a paper towel or something like that. A
It's Dale.
Yeah.
You might want to mute Mario. There's like a bunch of static from the mic.
Oh, okay.
It's like interfering.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Better?
Yeah.
You guys miss anything because of that?
No, I mean we could
Okay.
hear you like a lot of interference.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, no worries, no worries.
I think when
Okay.
you stretched your mouth, I think you need to do it again.
Okay, you just want to see me do it. That's all. Well, I'm gonna show you again anyway. So, all right. So look, what you do is get a paper towel, get like I said, like a dishcloth, you know, a towel for like drying dishes. You know, don't get like a big bath towel, but something small. And don't use toilet paper. Okay, that was a mistake that I made the first time I did it, and yeah, it's gross because it cakes up on your tongue. All right, so look, what you do is you stretch your jaw, and then with your towel in the other hand. So you stretch. Well, let me start over. You stretch your jaw first, like that, for like I said, 20 seconds maybe. Then you take a paper towel, like I said, or a dishcloth or something, and you grab your tongue. Okay? You grab your tongue and you pull your tongue out while you're stretching your jaw. If you're pulling your tongue out to where it hurts, you're doing it too much. All right. It will feel mildly uncomfortable, as you can imagine, but it shouldn't hurt. Okay. So, you know what? Maybe I'll use my jacket. That might work. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So what you do is stretch your jaw, stick your tongue out, and pull on your tongue. And then you make the worst noise known to man. All right. So you go like this. So what I do is I take a big long breath before I do it, like breathe in. And then when that breath is exhausted out, that's when I stop. And now what that does is, see, your vocal cords are really a muscle, and it's exercising that muscle. You ever notice like rappers or rock singers or something like that, rock singers in particular, you know, that are like super duper loud and everything, you know, them fools go on tour, you know, do 100 shows in a row and their voice is fine. Why is that? It's because their vocal cords are built up. Okay. I got this exercise. You can find, there's actually a TED Talk demonstrating this exercise. If you go on YouTube, you can find it. It's a guy named Arthur Joseph. Okay. And Arthur Joseph, he does something called vocal awareness. And so he works with actors, actresses, singers, people who talk for a living, politicians, salespeople, things like that, to help them with their voice. Because your voice says so much about you. You know, like they say, the eyes are the window to the soul. I feel like the voice is a window to your identity, you know? And anyway, you do that. If you do that every day, your vocal cords will strengthen. Like, have you ever been to a concert or something like that, or been out like late one night out at the club or something, and then the next day your voice is shot? You know, like you feel all raspy and like you can't project well and your voice keeps breaking up when you talk. That's because your vocal cords aren't built up. That never happens to me, ever, because I do this very exercise. So what it will help you do, and it sounds crazy as hell. I can't understand it. There's something psychological about it. But you will, when you get done doing that, just say like a nursery rhyme or something. Just say a couple of sentences. It feels like the words are just flowing out of your mouth. Like it's like honey or molasses, just like dripping out of your mouth. Like you just feel so much more articulate when you do that. I don't know why, because it has nothing to do with your brain. It's not like new words or, you know, it's not like you're increasing your grammar or your vocabulary by doing that. But just for whatever reason, you do feel more articulate and you feel more confident about what you say, how you're going to say it. You know, another thing too is, you know, a lot of times guys, especially guys that kind of have more of a nasally voice, you know, they're talking through their nose, right? That's why their nasal passage. They're oftentimes like, well, you know, I don't have like that big, deep, booming voice. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to walk in there sounding like Barry White. Hopefully somebody gets that reference. That's me showing my age. But you don't have to go in there with a big, booming, you know, baritone, bass heavy voice. But if you take your voice and just bring it down an octave or two, you know, like here's the deal, man. And this may surprise some of you. How you hear me talk, how you've always heard me talk whenever I've talked to you, whether it's in person, whether it's you've seen a video, whatever the case might be, that is not my natural speaking voice. The way I'm talking right now is not how I sound naturally, but I trained myself to sound a certain way. So is that, to me, it's one of, I feel, and I've been told this, it's one of my most attractive qualities is my voice. And so I take pride in that. So I work on it. I accentuate it. And, you know, that's what I'm saying. I've done it so much. I've trained myself that it's just, it may as well be my natural speaking voice at this point. Okay. So I don't even think about it anymore. It's just a natural reflex, basically. Whenever I'm doing something publicly, this is Dale voice. You know, this is Dale Valor voice. Dale Baker voice is something different, I guess. So, and for those who don't know, my real last name isn't Valor. So, cat's out of the bag. But anyway, you know, that's what I mean is you want to talk. You don't want to talk through your nose, though. And you don't want to talk from your throat. You want to talk from your diaphragm, from your chest. You want to punch your words, okay? Punch your syllables, especially in a loud environment. You know, punch the words out. Don't just say them, punch them out. So is that people can hear you, you know? So that's the first secret, is being able to communicate your value organically through body language, the way you carry yourself, tonality, all those things are super important, man. And, you know, to me, I think Troy Valor has a good speaking voice. I think he comes across well and articulate. Okay. So Troy, can you kind of give your thoughts real quick on, the important, what you take away is the importance of body language and tonality?
Yeah, that's kind of the first thing that I actually worked on, I think. Like when I first started approaching women, before I even learned game, the three things that I actually told myself to do when I was approaching women was like eye contact, square up, and vocal projection. Those are kind of the three things that I live by when I like approach women, because like even if you don't have like mad game, if you're not like a super witty person or anything, like literally just going up to a girl, kind of no matter what you say, if you maintain eye contact, square up with her, so that means like, you know, face her head on, like standing in front of her, don't like creep up on the side or anything, and then speak in a way to where you actually want to be heard. I think that those three things communicate that you're not afraid to walk up to a girl and start talking to her, which means that it's kind of like proof that you're valuable enough to do that. So yeah, those are kind of the three things that that I've done like from the beginning. And okay. Yeah, vocal projection was probably the thing that I had the hardest time doing, because I always wanted to like stay, you know, like I didn't want people to hear me. But once I started opening that up and like speaking and just being okay with being the center of attention, I got used to it really quickly. And yeah, my results got a lot better from that.
You know, one thing too to remember is that, you know, we all kind of have a inner volume dial, I guess. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's funny. It's like oftentimes when people who aren't used to hearing themselves on a video or whatever the case might be, where you hear audio of yourself, you know, you're like, whoa, I sound like that, you know, like it shocks people a little bit. But the thing is, you know, when you're with your inner volume dial, here's how you know if you're speaking loud enough or not. If people keep asking you if people keep asking you, what did you say? Huh? What? Then you know that you're not talking loud enough. I've worked with guys in the past who were like, damn, I'm freaking yelling in here. I'm like, no, you're not, man. Like, you are not yelling. I promise you, you're not yelling. I'm like, if I pull a pistol out and put it to the side of your dome, it was like, I am going to kill you unless you start yelling as loud as you can. I promise you it will be much louder than how you're talking to me right now. And then once they get it and they start talking as loud as they need to talk, even though they feel like they're just like screaming at people, when they get to that point, the results will change. There's one guy, Troy knows him. You know who I'm talking about, right? I don't want to throw names out there. Okay.
Yeah.
So as soon as he started, he had mild success, you know, in the sense of, like, you know, his sets would go all right, and he'd number close here and there. But as soon as he started really projecting his voice, his success rate went way up quickly, like that night. You know, because he's like, oh man, I don't know what's going on. Nothing's going on. This ain't really working out, man. And I'm like, dude, because you're not fucking loud enough. How many times I gotta tell you? Like, I had him start yelling in the club. I'm like, dude, I will tell you when you're too loud. Just start yelling. He's like, what? I'm like, no, just bear with me. Start yelling. And the thing was, what he started doing wasn't even yelling. It was like the appropriate volume now. Okay. So I'm like, that is the volume in which you need to speak. So yeah, so that's super important too. All right, guys. So I'm going to get to the next secret here. All right. So this is secret number 2, and that is how to manufacture social proof. Okay. Now, social proof is important because it's like, if everybody's doing it, it must be the thing to do. Like, there's a great book that really breaks down social proof, like through and through. Like, it's an awesome read. It's called Influence. And really all you need to know from Influence is that if everybody's doing it, it's the thing to do. Okay. So here's the deal. Now, this is the false belief that a lot of guys fall into. The trap is, oh, well, you know, you got to, if you're going to have social proof and if girls are going to be attracted to your social proof, well, then you got to be Mr. Popular. You know, you got to be a rock star. You got to be the captain of the football team, whatever. Okay. Or, you know, your social media has to be popping, you know, thousands and thousands of followers and blah, blah, blah. That is 100% bullshit. Okay. You can manufacture social proof to where everybody thinks that you're the guy that they need to get to know. And the thing is, they don't just think it, it's true. You are the guy that they need to get to know, but they don't know that yet. Okay. It's like, I could have the dopest product on, you know, that's could be on the market. Like, I got a new chicken recipe and I'm going to open up, you know, I'm going to put out a new chicken sandwich that's just going to blow away Chick-fil-A and Popeyes and KFC. I'm just going to blow them out of the market. And I got this recipe. I start making these chicken sandwiches. If I don't advertise it, if I don't put commercials out for it, if I don't, you know, let people know that it exists, then what does it matter? Because nobody's going to come buy my chicken sandwich. Because they don't know about it. So the thing is, you can manufacture that social proof by doing this. All right. Being talkative, essentially. Talk to everybody. Talk to the staff at a place. Talk to, whether you're at the mall, you're at the club, you're at the outside festival, you know, in the summer or whatever, wherever you are, talk to the people around you. Men, women, young, old, you know, like be in a talkative state to where you're just that guy, man. You just communicate with everybody. You're just socially comfortable and savvy to be able to talk to everybody. Now, here's the deal. Say you are at a poppin' bar, okay? Like, you know, it's kind of like the place to be in town. And, you know, so you got a group of people over here. You got a group of people over there. You know, there's two girls over here. There's another 3 over here. You know, like there's just groups of people. And people generally, you know, usually if they're a group, they all know each other, right? I mean, you know, maybe they came together, maybe it's somebody's birthday party and, you know, people just kind of came, you know, throughout the course of the night, whatever. But nonetheless, your assumption is that the people that are in that group, they all know each other. They're all friends. They all go to school together, whatever the case is. Okay. Now, you assume that. I assume that. Everybody assumes that. So if you come there alone, you're like, oh, well, you know, I don't have any social proof. Everybody's got all these big groups of friends and blah, blah, blah. Here's the deal. They will also assume that about you. So you start with the first group. Talk to them. Doesn't mean you have to like run game on them. I mean, you can if you want to, but just go talk to them. Just have a conversation. Have interesting things to say. Then the next group to them is going to think that you're a part of that group. Then you go over to that group, do the same thing, have a conversation with them, see who's cool, what's going on, what's popping. Then the next group will think that you are a member of that group. See, and as you work your way around the room and you're talking to the staff, you're talking to everybody, the natural assumption is, and believe me, man, girls are intuitive about this kind of thing, by the way. So they will pick up on the fact that you know everybody. You're the guy, like, this guy fucking knows the whole room. He must be somebody. Let me find out more about him. That's manufacturing social proof from nothing, right? There's very few things that can be made that you have absolutely nothing, right? My hand is empty. There's nothing here. If I close my hand and I open it and there's something that I made that's now in my hand, what is that? It's magic, right? So you are essentially doing social magic, okay? You're getting the room to identify that you are the most popular guy there and that you are the guy that they want to get to know, okay? So that is the second secret. So Hussein, you there, bro? You there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here, Dale.
Okay, give me your thoughts on social proof. You go out a lot. You talk, you know, this guy fucking games like 8 days out of the week, man. So,
So, for example,
25
let's say
hours a day.
you're on a date with your girl, and you guys are just hanging out. And the moment that one of the guys from society or somewhere else just came up to you and say hi to you because maybe he or she can be your friend, and this is kind of a social proof because the girl will ask you like, oh, who is this, so on and so forth, and this will shows that you know people, you're talking with other people too, you're not this creepy guy, you have other friends, you have life, and she is not your center, you know. So this will show that you are not a creepy guy eventually, and I think this will raise your value in her eyes. Also, you can, for example, maybe you have a store which is your favorite and you're buying some stuff, and you know the seller, and you will start chit chatting. This is also another type of like social proof that you can have, and I'm for sure that the girl will ask about this situation. I mean, how do you know him, so on and so forth. And I mean, so far, like from my perspective, it affected me like in a positive way, as always.
You know, you touched on a really good point there too. You know, the one thing that guys are always worried about is, will she think I'm creepy? All right. Here's the deal. If the girls all see you kicking it with other girls and the other girls are having a good time and, you know, you're the life of the party, so to speak, and you know, they're very receptive to you, other girls see that, eliminating that creepy factor. Well, I mean, he's clearly not creepy or weird or, you know, socially awkward or, you know, whatever the case might be. If all these other attractive girls are talking to this guy, you know, like, he's not a creeper. He's somebody that I should probably get to know, you know? So I think that's a really good point. All right. So this is the last secret, secret 3. Okay. This is verbalizing your value. And this is really, in my opinion, probably the most important secret here. This is where you can really, really, really communicate who you are, your intrinsic value, all that good stuff. Anybody that's been working with me for any length of time knows how much I talk about storytelling, okay? How important that I think it is. And I like, if you could tell a good story, that's half the battle, okay? The false belief here is that if you communicate your value verbally, then you are a douchebag, right? This guy's cocky, he's arrogant, you know, how does he, like, yeah, if you walk up to a girl and you're like, you know, guess what? Do you know how much money I make? Guess what? Guess what I drive? I drive a Lamborghini. You'll see me revving my engine in the parking lot later. You know, guess what? I live in a $500,000 house. Yeah, that guy's a douchebag because all he's doing is talking about material items, which, you know, that is a thing of value, monetary wise, and also, you know, to girls. I mean, it is a thing of value, but it's also a turnoff and super obnoxious to go around bragging about yourself. Okay. So how do we communicate our value, our intrinsic value, without coming across as a douchebag? Well, we do it by telling stories. See, if I tell you a story about something that happened, then I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you a story, but I'm embedding all this value in here to raise my value. I'm just stacking value by telling stories because I'm putting so many attraction spikes in those stories that I'm not bragging to her. You know, I'm not being obnoxious. I'm telling an engaging story that she wants to listen to. And all the little subtle hints are being dropped in that story. So, you know, one time a guy had asked me, he was like, hey man, you know, and some of you guys know this guy, by the way. But anyway, he asked me, he's like, man, look, you know, I'm a gamer. Like I love to play some PlayStation and Xbox and all that stuff. That's my thing. But I never tell girls that that's like really my passion. I love it. I absolutely love it. But I never tell them that because I know that they'll be turned off. And how is a way that I can explain my love of playing video games in a way that I feel it's authentically me, and I'm being congruent with who I am. I'm not hiding things. And I was like, man, you got to tell her in a story, dude. I was like, here, I will make up a story right now and you'll see what I mean. And I made this story up then. Now I've probably said it a million times because I was like, I'm going to remember that. That was actually pretty good. So I'm going to tell the story right now. Okay. And you'll see what I mean when I deliver this story. Okay. So the thing was, is when he asked me that, I tried to think to myself, I was like, what is the lamest thing? And sorry if any of you guys are into this, by the way, it's nothing personal. Okay. But I was just trying to think of what I would consider the lamest thing a guy could be into as a grown man. And what I thought of was model trains, collecting toy trains and setting up, like those big model train displays. Just imagine some dude with like a engineer's hat and, like got a little village set up and all that stuff. Like that just seems like mad dorky and just super lame to me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna run with that. So again, sorry if any of you guys are into model trains, but it is what it is. So anyway, all right. So this was the story I told him. I was like, okay, so imagine I'm talking to a girl and she asks me, what am I into? Okay. And I don't want to hide the fact that I'm into model trains, right? Instant turn off. Vagina drier than the Sahara. Okay. Like no girl is going to be like, oh, that's so hot. He's into model trains. So, this is what I would say. If she asked me, Dale, what are you into? I would say, I don't know if I know you well enough to tell you. And she would be like, well, what do you mean? I don't know if I could trust you yet. And she would be like, no, you could trust me. You sure? Yeah, you can trust me. Tell me. Because I want her, this is a side note, I want her to want the story, right? I don't want to just be like, one day, just like start like just breaking this story down, right? I want her to want it and like just to kind of get her primed and ready for this dope ass story I'm about to tell her. So she's like, yes, you could definitely tell me. I'm like, all right, fine. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm into model train collecting, okay? And I know how that sounds. All right, but hear me out, okay? Here's the deal. When I was a kid, I was like about 10, 11 years old, something like that. Christmas was coming up. And I wanted this bike so fucking bad. Like just, all the kids in my neighborhood, they had these just dope bikes. And I just had this banana seat looking, just janky ass bike. And they would never invite me to be a part of their motorcycle gang, kids just playing and stuff. But I couldn't be in the gang because I've got this old lame bike. And so I was like, I wanted my parents to get me that bike so bad. And the thing was, my parents, they didn't have a lot of money. They had enough, but weren't rich by any means, that's for sure. But I just knew that I was going to get that bike. So Christmas morning comes. I get out of my bed. I'm all excited. I'm just like, yes, the bike. And I run out to the garage. I look in the garage. I'm like, no bike. I go back to the Christmas tree. No bike. And I'm like, I know that it must be outside. It's 20 degrees outside. I'm running around in the snow in my socks, right? Just trying to find this bike. Could not find it anywhere. I was devastated. Well, here's the thing. I come back in. My mom's like, open your presents. So I'm opening my presents and nothing could compare to that thought of that bike. I get to, my dad gives me a box. He's like, you're going to love this. Now, see, me and my dad, we never really got along that well. I knew that he loved me, but the thing was, he was working a lot. He worked a ton, just so we could have enough. But he wasn't an emotional guy, he's very stoic and, but, we just didn't really, I didn't see him much and, we just really didn't get along that well, I guess. And I opened up the present he gave me and it was a model train set. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? Can't be in a motorcycle gang with a model train set. So, we get done opening presents. We go downstairs. My dad helps me set up this model train set. And I'd never seen my dad so electric. I'd never seen him invest and spend that much time in me. And I just couldn't believe I think he bought it for him, quite honestly, because he was so into it. But because of his enthusiasm, it made me get into it. And so, we're having fun on Christmas, like setting this thing up and everything. And it was the one thing throughout the course of my life that I ever really connected with my dad over. And, as time went by, we would get more trains and add to the town, and we got little people and little shops and all this kind of stuff. By the time I graduated high school, we had like a whole city down there with all these trains and everything, and you could smell the smoke coming out of the smokestacks and all that stuff, and the bells and dinging and all that. And so the thing is, my dad, he passed away a couple years ago, and after he passed, I brought out that model train set. I brought it to my house. I set it up in my basement. And every time that I go down there, it's because I miss my dad. And I turn that train set on. I hear the dings of the bells. I smell the smoke from the smokestacks. And it just takes me back to that Christmas morning when I was 10. So if you don't like model trains, fuck you. End of story. So you see now, honest to God, do you guys not want to go buy a model train set now? like it sounds like the dopest thing on the planet at this point, So what I did there was I brought her into my world. It's not about the model trains anymore. It's about the passion behind it. It's about the intent, the relationship with my dad. By the way, none of that's true. That was a story I just completely made up. Okay. Just as a side note, before you guys start feeling bad for me or something, my dad's very much alive, and I've never had a model train in my life. Okay. But, anyway, it's about the passion behind what you're into, the hobbies that you have, the things that you want to do in life. If you can convey that passion, it hardly matters what it is that you're into. Okay. And so that's what I'm saying. If you can convey everything behind it into that story, talk about the emotions you felt, just like I was saying, I was so excited when I woke up on Christmas, and again, it's bringing her into my world. When you watch a movie, or a TV show or something like that, when you're watching that, when you see something that's like a really moving scene, or something just kind of hits you a certain way, and you get maybe a little choked up, you're like, oh damn, that sucks, I'm kind of sad. Why do you think that is? It's because your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind rather, your subconscious mind does not know that that's a story. See, your logical mind knows, okay, I'm watching TV and this is just something I'm watching. A writer wrote this, actors acted it, camera guys recorded it, and now it's on my TV. Logically, we know that. Your subconscious mind doesn't know that. Your subconscious mind says, this is happening right in front of me. This guy got thrown off a cliff. That I'm just happened 5 feet from where I stand. And so that's why you feel emotion. Your emotions get stirred when you watch things because of that side of your mind thinking that it's happening. When you tell her a story like that, she sees it. She can relate to it. She knows what Christmases are like. She knows that she had friends that she wanted to impress with toys or whatever when she was a kid. She knows what it's like to get presents on Christmas. She she can relate to it and she can see it. It's vivid. It's in her mind. She can picture it in her imagination. She can feel the emotions that you're relaying. See, when women tell stories to each other, they tell stories about the emotions they felt while something was happening. As men, we tend to tell stories matter of factual. This happened, then this, then this, then this, then this, the end. And that's it. That's not a compelling story. That's just bullet points, okay? When women tell stories to each other, oh, I was so scared because, I thought I was knocked up and I didn't know what I was going to do. And, he said that he said his pullout game was strong, and I guess it wasn't. Now I think I might be pregnant, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, so what she's expressing in that little itty bitty story is nervousness, anxiousness, you know, being unassured. You know, she's talking about all the emotions she's feeling. She's not talking about what actually happened, a little bit, but not breaking it down like we would, you know. So that's the way that I try to communicate a story, is like how women tell stories to each other. I talk about all the emotions because she has felt those emotions. Unless she's a sociopath or something, she has felt those emotions and can relate to those emotions, bringing her into the story even more. And I'm painting a vivid picture. Now, see, you can do that with anything. Now, don't get me wrong, storytelling is a skill set, okay? It's not something like, oh, okay, Dale told me to tell stories, so I guess I got to be Mark Twain over here. Well, you don't have to be Mark Twain, but you do have to be able to deliver a story. It is a skill set, okay? You're not just going to, like, well, since Dale said it, I guess I'm good at it. No, it's something you got to work on, but it is something that you can work on. All these things, all three of these secrets are all things you have to work on. You know, there is no magic pill, right? There's nothing that's just going to like, oh, okay, overnight, I got it on lock. I've got it all together now. So that's the thing, though. If you can work on your storytelling, the best way to do that is hone your mind, almost like muscle memory, to be able to tell stories. What you can do is the things in your environment, in your bedroom, in your living room, whatever, start weaving things together. You know, you could say it out loud. I mean, I guess if you have company over, it might be kind of weird, but you know, if you're sitting there by yourself and you're not doing nothing, you know, just creatively, that creative part of your mind, start crafting a story about the things in your environment. You know, maybe you got a picture of a dog, and then the next to that picture of that dog is a trophy that you won, I don't know, whatever, in high school for track and field. Then next to that is, I don't know, a candle. You know, like you could tell a story about how, you know, you had a dog that you would take for dog walks, and the dog ran off and was chasing a squirrel, and it didn't have a collar on it. And, you know, it's your dog. You didn't want it to get lost. You know, that'd be horrible if you lost your dog. You know, that's like your buddy, man. That's your homeboy, you know? Like, nobody wants to lose their dog. And so you took off running after that dog. And the dogs run after the squirrel. And the dog's, you know, he's faster than a human being, but you're keeping pace with him, though. And then that's when you realize, you know what, I'm kind of a fast runner. So what I did the next year was, when I got into high school, I tried out for track and field, found out I loved it, found out I'm actually pretty good at it. And then I was so proud because I won this race. I was nervous. I was scared because, you know, so much expectations was on me because I was kind of the star of the track and field team at this point. And it was just like this big race, there was all this pressure on me. And when you know, I won that son of a bitch. I got the trophy on my mantle right now. And you know what's funny is I got this candle that I put next to it because I just kind of like the way that the light kind of cascades over the trophy. I could see the shadow on the wall. You know, it's just so dope, you know. Boom, story. You know what I mean? Like, I just made that up just now, okay? So, but that's things that you can work on by piecing together things in your environment and start to build stories around it and being creative like that, okay? Now, the caveat being, don't make up stories to tell women. You know, yeah, so this one time the president's son got kidnapped, and who did they call? Well, they called me. You know, like you don't have to like have these big, crazy, grandiose tales of adventure, you know, swashbuckling on the seven seas and shit. You know, like you have just regular stories from your life, but just make them compelling. I could tell you a compelling story about me walking up to the party store and back, where nothing actually happened. I just walked up there and bought a bottle of water and walked back. But I could make it sound interesting as hell if I want. But that's because I've worked on it. Okay. It's a skill set that I've worked on, and you can work on it too. So, let me ask you guys a question real quick. All right. How many of you guys, and feel free to answer this out loud, actually, how many of you guys feel like you're drinking from a fire hose right now? There's just like a lot of information coming at you. Does it feel like that? I know it's a ton of information, so, if that's the case, it's okay. That's totally fine. But let me show you guys how we can work all this out and a ton of other shit over the next 12 weeks. Okay. So listen, here's what it's like, to work with me. Okay. So here's the deal. Here's what you're going to get. When I work with somebody, I talk with them. Like I said before, I do coaching calls, and I tell people an hour, but it's really way more than an hour. But we get together every week, sorting out your sticking points, sorting out the obstacles, the things that you're dealing with. We get those things sorted out. We work on it. We find solutions to those problems and get you set straight. So is that, there are no longer problems. And then you get new sticking points. Okay. Because here's the deal, man. You're never going to run out of sticking points completely, but that's good, because every time that you have new sticking points, that means that you grew, because the old sticking points aren't sticking points anymore. Now you've got a new set of sticking points to deal with. So at that point, you're growing. So to do that over 12 weeks, that's a $600 value. Okay. But not just that though. You're going to get a structured week by week program detailing every aspect of game. When I'm talking about every aspect, I'm talking about approaching. I'm talking about inner game, outer game, calibration, dating apps, social media, Insta dates, phone game, text game, just the full gamut, all of it. Closing, obviously, that's an important one. Building comfort, rapport, just all those things. Displaying your value, like we're talking about today, is a big part of it as well. And so it's a week by week structured program, all right, that has active missions for you to go out and do. Okay. And by doing those missions, it's making you grow. It's making you better. You're applying what you're learning. You're not just absorbing knowledge for the sake of absorbing knowledge. It's practical, and you're putting it to use. Okay. That's a $1,500 value. So you're going to get the weekly calls. It's a $600 value. You're going to get the structured program. That's a $1,500 value. You're also going to get my guide to inner game, the Las Vegas method that I put together that covers all the inner game concepts that you really need to know. And what's really dope about it is it forces you to be super, super honest with yourself. And it finds out your strengths and your weaknesses. So you can accentuate your strengths and work on your weaknesses. That's a $500 value. So you're getting the $600 value of the weekly coaching calls, the $1,500 value of the 12-week program, the $500 value of the inner game guide. And then the last thing being, you don't ever have to buy another program for the entirety of your life, unless you want to. But you're going to get everything you need. And I stake my life on it. I don't play around with it. I take it very, very, very seriously. It's really a lifetime thing. If you need work past that, then we'll work on it. But here's the deal. I'm sure you guys have seen this rolled out before. It's like, if you want to get good game, you have to buy this. Oh, now that you bought this, you say you want really good game? Oh, you got to buy this now. Oh, you say you want really, really good game? Oh, you got to buy this now. This hamster wheel of programs. You should only have to get something once, man, and that's it. It's not that complicated. It doesn't take program after program after program after program. We're just giving you the shop. So you're getting the weekly calls, the $600 value. You're getting the structured program, 12-week program that's $1,500. You're getting the inner game guide. That's a $500 value, and saving you thousands of dollars of buying programs if you wanted to go that route. All I'm asking for all that is $1,500. And if that is something that you feel like is reasonable, if you feel like it's something that you want to do, modernvalordating.com. I put it up there on the chat board. You can go there. You can read about it in detail, because I'm not trying to go over this all night or anything like that. So, you can go there, read it in detail. And if it's something that you want to do, you can get it right there on the website, So listen, if all that program did though was make you feel confident around women for the rest of your fucking life, would that be worth it? Okay. Just ask yourself that. Would that be worth it? But if all that package did was give you the skill set to attract the kind of women into your life that you want to have in your life for the rest of your life, would that be worth it? If all that package did was transform your life to make you the best version of you that you can be, would that be worth it? The way I see it, you have two options. The first option is this. You do nothing, you don't get the program, and that's fine if you don't want to or whatever. That's completely fine. It's your decision. It's your call. But you stay where you're at right now, or bang your head like I used to do and watch a gang of YouTube videos. All right. That's the first option. The second option is you pony up the small investment in yourself here and you make it happen. The way I see it, that's the two options. So I just wanted to leave that with you guys, just something to consider. If it's something that you want to do, great. I'm excited. Can't wait to start. If it's not something you want to do, that's okay too. That's your call. I'm not here to twist anybody's arm or anything like that, So yeah, guys, we are going to open it up for Q&A. Okay. But before I open it up for Q&A, I just want to reiterate two things. Okay. I said at the beginning of the Zoom call here that I had two gifts for you guys. The first gift, I already told you, any of you guys that want to take me up on a free 1-hour coaching call, again, air quotes, 1 hour, we could set it up. That's no problem at all. You get at me, we'll schedule it, and we'll knock it out. The second thing being, hang on, let me take a drink here. The second thing being, we have a Modern Valor Dating Mastermind Facebook group. Okay. We have the regular group, I don't know, we got like almost 2,400 people in there now, but the mastermind group is focused more attention to detail. It's not about like people just throwing out posts and about whatever. Here's a meme about with a girl, I don't know, whatever, and just a funny meme. Or some guy asking a question for the 18th time why this girl won't text him back. When that's all dope. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm all for that stuff. But the mastermind group is more focused and attention to detail for what it is that you want. See, all the Modern Valor Dating coaches are in there. Okay. And that being a part of that particular group, there's tiers of cost, but the average person in there is paying $20 a month. Okay. I'm going to let you guys in there for free if you want it. If you don't want it, I guess you don't have to accept it. But the thing is, if you want to be in that group, the whole idea is for you to ask specific questions that all the coaches can answer and give you're not getting, Billy Bob from Iowa, giving you his breakdown on game when you have no idea who that is or if that advice is any good. But these are all the MVD coaches in one place that will give you their advice and be able to break down whatever problems that you're encountering. So I will put you guys in that group if you want to be in that group. Okay. So yeah, that's the second gift that I wanted to give you guys. And I think, again, it's super dope. I'm glad you guys are here tonight. And just know that, if nothing else, I appreciate you guys. It shows me that you guys want to learn, that you want to get better, that you want to be a part of a community. And you know, you could be anywhere. You could be doing anything else right now. It's the fucking day after Christmas, you know. I could be doing anything else too. It's my, like I said, it's my birthday today. So, oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. But I commit to the last Saturday of every month. And that's what like I said before, when I give my word, it's going to happen. Come hell or high water, I will make it happen. Birthday or no birthday, I'd rather spend it with you guys than eat cake anyway. So yeah. So anyway, we're going to open it up for Q&A. I'm here. Troy's here. Hussein is here. All three of us being modern Valor dating coaches. So, you know, you can ask any of us specific questions, or we can answer them, all three of us. You know, we can do that too. You know, you can ask questions about what we covered tonight, or you can ask questions about whatever you want to ask, you know, so it doesn't have to be specifically to this topic. It's, you know, whatever you guys want to talk about is what we'll talk about. So, so yeah, you guys have any questions?
Okay, can you hear me?
I don't know who's talking.
I have this is Tony. I have a headset on. I'm just making sure you can hear me first.
Oh yeah, no doubt, dude. Okay, what's up, Tony?
Okay, so as long as you can hear me, so yeah, this headset's kind of iffy. So so we speak about the first point was being loud, you know, being louder than like your customer or whoever you're speaking to. So, you know, when you're engaged in a set, you know, they're almost always going to be in a group. And I think the fear factor of not being loud comes from like who else is going to hear, you know, like if you're going to come off low value to other people around you for failing, like, you know, the embarrassment, like if other people hear what happens if it doesn't go well. So like, what do you say to that?
I hear what you're saying, but here's the deal. So look, nobody knows that you failed. Listen, okay, now it does depend on how loud that environment is, of course, right? If it's a booming club and the people in front of you can just barely hear you, okay, the next people over don't have no idea what you're talking about, okay? But so in that context, it doesn't, no one's going to know what happened anyway. But here's the deal.
Right.
That's not something that I would worry about, okay? Because look, in all likelihood, you're not going to, like, say you get blown out of set, okay? There's like, hey, you know, it's actually girls' night out, and, you know, we're celebrating my friend's birthday, and we were having a conversation. Thanks, but, you know, no thanks. Okay, fine. That's not a harsh rejection, okay? The next people over, all they seen was friendliness, okay? They probably aren't, they're caught up in their own, whatever they're talking about, okay? They're not, it's not like all eyes are on you now, you know? So yeah, man, it's not something that I would be overly concerned with. I think that that's putting more pressure on yourself for nothing. Because I have never ever, and I don't know, maybe this is just my experience, but I think I've had a pretty large sample size of experience. Okay. I have never been rejected harshly. Okay. I've been rejected, of course. I mean, who hasn't? But I've never been rejected harshly. I've never ever seen.
I have.
Okay. Then you know what that tells me? That tells me that the feedback that you were getting by that harsh rejection, you did something earlier in the set, you approached incorrectly, or you said something incorrectly, or did so, you know, there's something not, there was something that didn't happen that should have. Okay.
I said, hi, my name is Tony. That's what I said. I said, hi, my name is Tony. That's what I said.
Okay. Well, all right. So that's not, to me, that's not a good approach. Okay. So that's what I mean. You came into the set, like obviously I wasn't there, so I don't know the full context of it. But here's the deal. You come in, like, listen, girls think two things when a guy walks up to them. All right. Well, let me ask you this, though, just so I get a little more context.
Mhm.
Were you at a bar, club, the mall, on the street? Like, what was this situation?
I was in a parking lot.
In a parking lot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So here's the deal. When you walk up to any girl, parking lot or anywhere else, okay, and you're a complete stranger to them. All right. Now, was this one girl, two girls, three girls, 100 girls? Like, what was the?
I think there was a guy and two girls.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. You walked up to the three of them as a complete stranger in a parking lot, no less. The most unsocial place in the world. Okay. Like, you know, like approaching in a parking garage is like, okay, am I about to get raped right now? You know, so you walked up to him. Hi, my name's Tony. Two thoughts every girl has. What does this guy want? How long is he going to be here? Okay. So instead of saying, hi, my name is Tony, you know, you could start with, firstly, if there's a guy in the set, approach the guy. Talk to the guy. Because even if he's one of their brothers, or both of their brothers, I guess, then maybe they're all related. I don't know. But, you know, maybe he's one of their brothers. Maybe he's just a friend. You know, maybe there's no romantic entanglement there at all. He still wants to feel like king shit. All right. So
Okay.
approach the guy first. Talk to him. Then work your way. See, here's the deal. You don't know, like, say the hotter of the two girls, the one that's your target, right? You go up and talk to her. You don't know if that guy's with her or not. How do you think he feels? This guy, Tony, just walked up and just started hitting on my girl in the parking lot out of nowhere. He just popped up. You know? So the thing is, man, if you walk up and you, hey, what's going on, dude? Hey, listen, man, you know, I'm trying to get over to the, why were you at the parking lot? Just out of curiosity.
That's actually kind of hard to remember. I think I was with my sister, and we were looking for like something to do, or like, you know, somewhere. We were in a new city.
All right, perfect.
So we would yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, what's up, man? My name's Tony. I'm trying to, you know, I'm new here in town. You know, we're just passing through. My sister's over there in the car, and we're looking for something to do. Do you guys happen to know anything cool to do around here? Again, we're from out of town, so we don't know shit. So break it down for me. You guys look like you know what's going on around here. You look like cool people. What should I check out? You see?
I got you.
Do you think they would have been, if you walked up and said that, do you think that they would have been like, get away from us, you know? Likely not, you know? So then once you found out some cool shit to do, invite them along. Hey, by the way, how do you guys all know each other? Just out of curiosity. Oh, my name's Sarah, and this is my friend Lisa, and you know, this is our other friend from work, Bill. Oh, okay. So clearly there's no romantic entanglements here. You're getting some intel, right? So that's what I'm saying, man. Initially, your first mistake was, hi, my name's Tony. They don't care what your name is or who you are. Why should they? They don't know you. You know what I mean? So, and again, they're thinking, how long is he going to be here? What does he want? So does that answer your question?
That was a great illustration. Thank you very much, Dale.
Yeah, no worries. Do you got Hussein, Troy, do you got anything to add to that?
I mean, I would just say like calibration is like huge in those type of situations. I tend to, I don't know, it's hard to, Dale answered that really well, so it's hard to add anything, but like if I were to add something, I would just say to like remind yourself that calibration is huge. Because if I'm approaching somebody in a parking lot or a parking garage, like I'm gonna make sure they like know why I'm there, what my intent is, and because like it's one thing to approach a girl on the street and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Well, actually, pretty much anywhere I'm at, I like to calibrate the situation. So I'm like hyper aware of how the girl's feeling. So, Tony, did they react negatively like right away, like right when you said, "Hi, my name's Tony"?
Yeah, immediately, right away.
Okay. Yeah. So like in that situation, you could pay attention to like how they're reacting, and then react in a way where it's like, "Hey, sorry, like this is like extremely random," and then just kind of go into, you know, what Dale said, like come up with something to say to them. But you need to always make sure you're aware of how they're feeling, like right from the beginning, because one of the things that we say in game or skills with women is you want to take that step back before they do. You don't want to like go in, and then they have to be like, "Oh my God." Like you kind of want to like go in and I don't know, like if she's not reacting very well right off the bat, you want to take like physically even take a little step back and then just kind of acknowledge like, you know, "Hey, didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted to whatever," and then go into your spiel. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Thanks,
All
Troy.
right. You got anything to add, Hussein?
Also, like we should remember that girls are like states, and maybe in that situation the girl's just feeling bad or something bad happened, so we don't know, and you just need to keep going on, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
All right.
Cool.
Dale, can I share something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a similar situation, you know, if you're with a group, let's say I'm the guy and the girls are with me, right? The girls' loyalty, it's always going to be with you because they know you.
Mm-hmm.
So for a stranger to come in, they have to know, like kind of like what Troy was saying, has to be like they have to know, he has to know what's going on, because if he doesn't, it shows that he's not intelligent enough or how to approach the group. So when this guy, we were at a bar and I was with some two girlfriends and we were just talking, and this guy, it's kind of weird because if you know game, you know who the guy is that's trying to approach the girls. Like you just know.
Yeah.
And this guy walks in the set, and then I said, "Dude, you already made the mistake." So right when he walks in, literally the girls just went behind me, right? Started looking at him, and I was just like, "Okay, keep talking, and you don't want to be rude, right?" And then I was just like, I just looked at the girls. I said, "Let's go," and it's like, "Let's go." And then the guy was just left alone by himself. So
Wow.
it's always, you always have to know that the girls are loyal to the guy that they're with, and they'll hit the nail on the head. It's, you just have to approach a guy first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, I got a question, man.
Yeah. What's up?
All right, so the first question is going to be, obviously, day game and night game have some similarities.
Mm-hmm.
But would you agree with me, or would you say that they are going to be two different beasts?
Yeah, because the environment's different.
Right.
Just like, look,
Like the way that the principles are the same, but the way that you would teach someone night game and day game, in my opinion, is completely different.
yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I do agree with that. So, like,
So
one of the things.
let me keep going. So,
again, oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. Go
yeah.
ahead.
So now that because a lot of people say that it's the same thing or that it's very similar. In my opinion, from what I experienced, the principles are the same, but as far as executing them, it's going to be very different.
Yeah,
So,
agreed. So, like, you ever been to the zoo?
yeah.
Okay. Great place to game, by the way.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. like you ever walk like past like the monkey exhibit at the Detroit Zoo? I know the guys who don't live here, obviously you have not, but
Yeah.
Louise, you personally, have you been to the Detroit Zoo? You've walked past the where, you know, like the fake African safari thing with the
I mean, it's been a minute, but
okay. All right. But here's the point that I'm driving at. The monkeys interact with people. Okay. Because, you know, there's people around them all the time, right? You know, looking at them, messing with them. Oh, ha ha, the monkey. They're just like little people and things like that. Matter of fact, one time, you know, I always wear rings, right? And there's like this metal tubing and there's like a hill. And like on the other, like there's like a ravine. The monkeys can't like climb up the wall and escape. But there's like a metal beam that's going across this wall. And these monkeys are all chilling in the shade on the side of this hill. And I was like clinking on that metal, whatever, railing with one of my rings. I was basically like ding, 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 ding. And one of the monkeys, it was so funny, dude. One of the monkeys like tapped the other monkey on its arm, was like tap, tap, and got the other monkey's attention. And he pointed up at me doing that. And then the other one just started cracking up laughing and rolled down the hill. Okay. The point being, take those same monkeys and put them in their natural environment. Now, they're the same monkey, right? They're just in two different environments, so they act differently. If they're in the wild, they're not going to be docile. They're not going to think, oh, hilarious, funny guy, you know, making weird noises with his hands. They're going to think, well, potentially they could be like, you know, this guy's a threat. Let's kill him. You know, so, you know, they're not going to be docile and funny, hilarious monkeys. You know, they're going to be territorial and things like that because they're in a different environment. And it's the same thing, man, between day game and night game. You know, people act and react differently in a more common setting, you know, like such as the street, the mall, Subway, the pizza place, whatever, you know, because those places aren't inherently social places. People expect strangers to sometimes talk at the bar or a club or something like that. People aren't going to the grocery store thinking, man, can't wait to pick out some produce and kick it. You know, like nobody's thinking that. So by you actually approaching during the day, it is kind of
weird. I don't want
weird.
to cut you off, but I feel like let me ask you what I want to ask you, okay? Because I know you have a lot to say, but
Yeah.
all right. So now that we've established that, you know, day game and night game are two different things.
Yeah.
Whether you want to get good at night game or whether you want to get good at day game, it's both. They're both going to take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to get really good, I'm talking about like really, really good.
Yeah.
So here's the question that I've been wanting to ask for a while. I have people say that don't choose day game over night game, or don't choose night game over day game. They say like do both, get good at both, because they both correlate with each other, and that's true.
Mm-hmm.
The things that you learn at night game will help you with their day game, and the opposite, right?
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, though, just because it takes so long to get at a high level of game, would you advise to someone, because this is what I would advise, but I want to hear your opinion, someone who clearly is better at day game or someone who is clearly better at night game, to just say, you know what, just focus on day game and get really good at that, because once you get really good at day game, then you can start pulling girls from the day, get them to meet up with you at night. Mm-hmm. And then from there, once you have girls in your life, you can build social proof, you can do all of this. Whereas if you're doing it half-assed, you're doing kind of like night and day, you never really get really good at one.
I agree 100% with that. So my recommendation, you know, I did a video on this a couple weeks ago, I think it was, where about finding your niche,
Exactly.
right? And that's basically what I was saying in that video is find your strengths, find what you're good at and run with that. So in other words, and you're right, it's like, I think it was Muhammad Ali that made a statement one time saying, I would rather punch one guy in the face 10,000 times than punch 10,000 guys in the face once. You get that, right? Does that make sense? You know, he'd rather fight one guy than, you know, fight one guy and win than, you know, punch 10,000 guys once. And what does that really accomplish? Nothing. Except tiring yourself out, you know? So, yeah, I mean, yeah, become masterful at one or two things, you know? I believe, now, here's the, I guess, the other side of the coin. I think that you should be comparable in whatever that, you know, in everything. But doesn't mean you have to be masterful at it and put a shit ton of effort into things that, you know, you like, look, do what your life lends to. So if you're the kind of guy that gets up at 6 a.m. every day and you're super regimented and disciplined, and you know that it's going to kill you being out till 3 a.m, you know, then okay, that's a pretty easy decision in my mind. Don't go out, do day game, you know? So yeah, I mean, I agree. You know, find what you're good at, but that means early on, experimenting with everything, trying to become.
Well, yeah, you have to experiment
at everything,
to figure out what you're good at
to
first.
find what you actually are good at.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I agree with that. What do you guys think, Troy? Hussein?
Yeah, I've actually never heard that before, that you should focus on like one and get really good at it. I guess it makes sense, but I mean, yeah, like you said, it depends on what correlates with your life. So if you go to bed early every night and you don't want to do night game and you just want to get really good at day game, then you should do that. And then conversely, if you and your friends go out at night all the time, then you should get really good at night game. But I've always learned both. I don't like to put on, and I'm not saying this is what you're saying, but like I don't like to put on like a false persona when I go, like I don't get into like night mode when I go out at nighttime. I get into day game mode when I go out in the daytime. Like the guy that you're seeing right now is who I am all the time, regardless of where I'm at. My energy is definitely a little bit higher at night, and I'm like doing things to fit in with the club, like dancing and stuff. And during the daytime, I'm definitely like more chill usually. But yeah, I mean, the time of day doesn't really matter to me as much. I kind of just like, I become that kind of person that I want to be to attract the woman that I want. And I carry that person 24/7, 365 all the time. And it doesn't really matter if I'm approaching it day or night. I kind of just calibrate to the situation. So I just bring my energy up accordingly to whatever situation I'm in. Because I mean, even during the daytime, there are like different situations you could be in. Like you could be at the grocery store where, you know, being a little bit more calm would be better. Or if you go to a street fair with like a ton of people like going crazy, like a big crowd, even though that's technically day game, like you still have to calibrate to that higher energy. So I kind of just think that you should practice game all the time and just learn to calibrate to the situation. But again, going back to like whatever activities you like to go to, like if you like going to street fairs, or if you like going to the mall a lot, or if you like going out at night, you should just kind of do whatever you like. But yeah, that's kind of what I think.
Yeah, so the reason why I asked, because I mean, obviously, you know, you mentioned a couple of times as far as like calibrating. I mean, calibrating, you have to do that at every situation, no matter where you're at. But what I have seen is that night game and day game, there's definitely like noticeable patterns that you will see over and over and over again in both. And after a while, obviously you're never gonna see all of them, but you will see these patterns that you won't see in the day and that you won't see at night, you know? So once you start seeing those patterns, then you can take action based on that. Because that's really what I noticed was that basically, you know, like I said, it's the same thing. You're running the same game, but it's just you're running the same game based on the patterns that you're seeing.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, so I guess like if you're seeing that same pattern over and over again, then you're going to be able to like kind of master that pattern. Yeah,
Right.
I guess like thinking of it that way, I guess I've generally followed like two patterns. Day game is just like a little bit faster, and I usually just get a phone number to meet up later. And then with night game, it's like you try to pull, but if you can't, then you just get a phone number. But like, yeah, I guess I see what you're saying.
So I guess I'm done, but I guess the point I wanted to make was that from other instructors that I've seen or YouTube videos, one of the things that I really hated was that people would say, get good at night game and day game, where it's like, bro, it's not that easy to just get good at both. You know? It's like they're because you go at night and you do all this stuff, all this teasing, all this push pull. You try that during the day, and it's completely different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
for me personally, I tend to, like I was saying earlier, that by and large, I go in direct, but during the day, I'm more likely to go direct because you don't have the time generally. You're at the gas station. No one's at the gas station to kick it. People want to go in, get gas, buy an energy drink or something and be on their way, So
I've actually pulled from a
like,
gas station before.
I got 2 minutes to convey my personality. I don't have time for, what's a good pasta dish? You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, you're absolutely, you're 100% right.
Yeah, I guess if you're, one of the things that we always say with learning game is like baby step it, right? Like learn one skill at a time. I find that if you're trying to learn storytelling, and you're trying to learn how to like tell these long stories, it might be better to do like night game a lot if you're like in that phase. And then if you're trying to overcome like, well, I don't know. I guess like learning a skill. I'm trying to think of like one skill that would be better to learn at night, and then one skill that would be better to learn during the daytime. Maybe like, I don't know, exchanging numbers in a smooth way might be a better thing to learn in the daytime. So you could practice that skill like over and over again during the day. Or if you have a problem with people watching you, I find that approaching during the day can really help with that because nobody is expecting a guy to approach a girl in the daytime. Not a lot of guys do it. Like 99% of girls don't do it. So if you have like,
that's my favorite, man. I love approaching during the day.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I think like if you have like any like fear inside of you at all, like approaching during the daytime just like eradicates that fear because like it's just all eyes are on you. You're the only guy approaching.
Yeah, you're not dealing with girls that are drunk and loud environments and things like. You can communicate more clearly. What you say is probably going to be recepted better because there's no, the song is on.
Nighttime, at nighttime, the shit tests go up by like 100%.
That's alcohol, man.
That is true. That is absolutely true. So, you guys have any other questions?
Yeah, I got one for you.
Yeah.
Early on, when you started, maybe like within the first 15 minutes, you mentioned about a loud crowd, and if one girl, if you see three girls in the group, and if one girl can't hear you, you're done. Do you have any example where you actually like turned that around instead of like?
I mean, you mean like where I lost one person? And
No, because with as a group, right? If one girl doesn't like you, you're done, right? Like you
Right.
have to win, right?
Yeah, you have to win over the friend group.
Right. So what I'm saying was, you mentioned earlier, if the crowd is too loud and they can't hear you, and if one girl keeps saying what, and and if when they left your presence, was there something that you did that you won them back, or was it just done?
I guess I'm not following the question. So
So
you're
let's
saying,
say you lost a
okay,
set, right? Okay, you following me? Like you
yeah,
lost a set
good.
because they can't hear you. Now, was there
Okay.
something that you could have done differently to win them back?
Yeah, all right, so I can't think of a time that like where I lost one girl and then I won them back. Like, I mean, okay, yeah, I can actually. Not all right. So look, I think this is probably the best way about going about that. Okay, you lose one, all right, then it spreads like cancer. Okay, like this guy's weird. Why is he talking to us? So, you know, whatever. They all want to go to the bathroom. They all want to go dance, go to the bar, whatever the case might be. Okay, so what I will do is I will eject myself. When I see it not going my way,
Uh-huh.
I'll eject myself. See, here's the deal. I don't know where this line of logic came from, but I see it very, very predominant. You don't have to work a set all the way through at one time. You can leave and come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to work it till it either works or you get rejected. One of the two.
Yeah.
You can eject yourself, and it's more, and sometimes that's actually better because you leave them wanting more. You see? So if you came in and they want to keep you around because they're like, oh, this guy's interesting, this guy's cool, like this is awesome, and then you dip because like if you can recognize the signs, like, okay, so one girl's bored, even if she's hearing you and she's just not into it, you know what I mean? She's playing on her phone, she's whatever she's doing, looking around, and then before long she starts talking to her friend, and then now you've lost two, so right. When I notice that, either one of two things: I will bring that girl direct into the conversation. I will only address her for a while. It's like you ever see the guy spinning plates, right? It's like this one's spinning and then this one's starting to wobble, so then he's like spinning that one and then back to this one, and right, because what happens if you ignores one of them for too long? Bam. Right. So what you can do is either one of two things: focus on that girl and that girl alone for a little bit. Okay. Like when I go into, this is kind of a side note, but kind of connected. When I go into a set, whoever my target is who I pay the least amount of attention to on the onset. Okay. It's the other ones. I want to win them over. If I win them over, I will win her over. Okay. So if I had to pay attention to the bored girl or the stupid drunk girl or whatever, okay, fine. If I don't want to do that, then I can eject myself out of the set. Hey, it was a pleasure meeting you guys. You guys are really cool. Maybe we can talk again later. And then who knows? Maybe 45 minutes later, whatever, they're at the bar. Okay, cool. Just re-enter the set. Now the dynamic has changed a little bit. The settings changed,
right.
So I think that's probably the best way to handle that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Because what I usually do is, like, if one girl is just like completely negative, like I just like walk away.
Yeah, but and you can do that too. You know what I mean? Like, it depends kind of like if it's a target rich environment.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if it's like say you really, you starting to really vibe with the girl that you liked, and it's just too early to kind of like maybe isolate her or something like that, that's where it would be better to either pay attention to the other girl for a while or leave and come back. So ultimately it's your call. Like if there's like a billion girls there, and like, man, whatever, you know what I mean? Go talk to these ones over here then, But if it's, not that kind of environment, maybe they're the only girls to talk to.
Yeah, come on, man. This is Eugene, Oregon. You get, on a good Saturday night, you get like maybe a good 5 sets, but that's it.
All right. Yeah. So, or you could learn homeless game.
There you go. Yeah.
There's your DHB house keys.
Yeah.
What do you think, Troy?
Well, I was just gonna say, if there's like one girl that's being negative in the set, but you're having a good time with most of the girls, you could call that girl out. You'd be like, yeah, like what's your deal? Like in a playful way, and just kind of call her out on being negative, and then just try to bring her up to everybody else's speed.
I think my biggest problem is like, if the girl, if I sense this negative energy coming out, right? My mind goes, oh, if she only knows who I really am. But at that point, I'm at that, like, I just give up. Like, you're just a waste of time. I know what's going to happen. So maybe it's just my faulty thinking that nothing's going to happen, because to me, it's just like, it's late. I got better things to do. So,
I feel,
yeah.
Can I ask a question to Troy?
Yeah.
Because I feel like Troy is from what I can tell, you're a little bit more low energy, maybe a little similar to my style. You might be able to relate to this a little more. So you hear this a lot in game. People say that if you're having fun, then the girl's having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People say that whatever you're feeling, she's feeling. And so there's this concept in game that as long as you're having fun, then good things will happen from there. Now, I will say that I disagree with this quite a bit, because for me, and I want your opinion on this, when I go out to a club, that's not fun whatsoever at all for me, right? Yeah. I don't enjoy it. I don't like being there. It's too loud. It's just, I'd rather not be there. So the results that I've gotten are not because I'm having fun, but simply because I did things right. Now, there's been other instances where I am having fun, but I didn't do things right, and I didn't get that result.
Right.
I have never experienced a time where I'm simply having fun, and because of that, I end up actually sleeping the girl. I might have gotten her attention and her time, but it never led anywhere. How do you stand on this idea that it's all about having fun? Because it's been being brought up a lot these last couple of years.
Is that kind of like relating to the argument of like enjoying the process, just having fun, as opposed to like focusing on getting the result, like that kind of thing?
No, I'm referring more to as like being the party guy. Being the fun guy.
Well, yeah, I guess now that you mention it, I have kind of struggled with that, but for me, I just try to, like, you kind of have to, whatever situation you're in, I feel that you do have to adapt to the situation. So even if I am like a low energy guy naturally, if I go to a bar and everybody's dancing, I'm going to get myself dancing. Mm-hmm. And just doing that physical movement actually puts me into a higher energy state. And I start having fun and my energy starts going up. But one thing that it's really helped me with that is actually back when I was getting mentored by Dale back in January, like one thing they had me do, the coaches, they had me like stretch my personality a little bit. So like I would do these things that I wasn't used to doing, like going into the middle of girls and just being like, or like, going on the dance floor and going crazy and stuff. I would get myself to do that kind of stuff. And I find that my energy would my energy would be here. and then I get myself to like dance and like, I don't know, do some crazy stuff. Like go up to girls, grab onto their, hold my hand out, hold hands, and like spin them around and stuff, go in between girls and just start dancing and stuff. My energy would go up to here, and that was like a little bit uncomfortable. But I found that once I relaxed, it would be more somewhere in the middle, kind of where everybody else is at.
Mhm.
So, this kind of relates to like vocal projection as well.
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of people don't know what their potential is as far as energy goes, and whether we're talking about like how you're talking or how you're acting. Like a lot of people think like, oh, I'm just a low energy guy, but you probably have like way more energy inside of you than you even realize. It's a matter of like, just kind of relaxing and letting it out.
Yeah.
And I might be telling you things that you've already heard, but yeah, just I guess.
So I guess would you say that? I guess I just want someone to agree with you. Would you say that the having fun concept is overrated, or no? I mean,
Yeah,
because I think it is.
That's a really good question because I think I had to go through a phase of learning how to have fun because I felt like I used to be like super, super monotone, super shy, super quiet and everything. And I feel like learning how to have fun kind of let me release something in myself. I just needed to get past some blocks. So that kind of helped me.
I will say this. I will say that I definitely agree that if you're a fun guy, girls will be around you a lot more. With that being said, being fun does not get you
Laid.
delayed.
Here's the answer. I know the answer you're looking for. It's
Yes.
you'd rather like whatever state you're in, however fun you are, if you follow the steps that get you to getting laid or that get you a girlfriend or whatever, those are what matter more than actually like having fun.
Yeah. So I'm with Luis. Like the fun thing, like going into the crowd, spinning them around, picking them up. I don't recall like any nights that I actually got laid, and
that's not. I feel like that's, sorry to cut you off, but I feel like that's not a step that gets you laid. That's just something, if you do have more of a reserved personality, that's an exercise that you can practice for a month just to kind of like release your personality and then apply whatever you learned into your game. But yeah, the steps of like learning game and learning how to pull and everything is totally different. And yeah, I agree that's kind of the foundation of game, is like knowing what to do.
And it's refreshing too when you're actually having fun. And I'm not saying I have something against, and I think I'm with you on that. Like it's very refreshing to push yourself to when you get to a point that you're uncomfortable. It's like, oh, actually, there's actually a different realm that I could enter into and actually enjoy myself. And I think with just thinking back with all the hookups, right, that I've experienced was when the whole room disappeared and it was just me and the girl talking. That's it. I call it the Bill Clinton magical moment, because I guess they say that Bill Clinton has that ability where he talks to women, he can make the whole room disappear, and women have no choice but to have sex with him. Yeah, they said I don't know about him. Like I don't know what he did to me, but all he did was make the whole room disappear, and I had to sleep with him.
Well, that's presence.
Yeah. So it's a whole different about having
when a guy's presence is that strong and that compelling,
right?
That's where they get sucked in to where it's like you said, the rest of the world melts away, and it's just me and Slick Willie here. You know what I mean?
Their panties are dripping.
Right. I mean, and that's what it is. He's very charismatic.
Right.
And that's where that comes into play. But I'd like to chime in on what Louise was saying a little bit. I think that you don't have to be, contrary to what I don't know, maybe even popular belief. I don't know. You don't have to be, rah party guy, where it's like, you don't have to be the life of the party with a lampshade on your head and running the, working the whole room at the same time and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to do all that. I think in particularly guys that are a little more quiet, a little more reserved, really all you really need to do is calibrate the energy level of the set that you want to open and just be a little bit more high energy than they are, and most times, I mean, when you approach, the girls aren't like going crazy unless they're like something, but the girls aren't like going crazy. Like think about okay, Necto, for example. Okay. How they got the smoking area outside? Oh, like the girls aren't out there like losing their minds. They're just standing around talking, basically. If you're just a little more high energy than them, they see that your energy contributing to the conversation, that's fine. You don't have to walk out there, all eyes on me, I'm Mr. Party Guy, you don't have to do all that. Just as long as
but the dating industry and most advice makes it seem like you do.
Right. Yep.
Well, yeah, because they show, well, I don't know, like a lot of the RSD guys, they'll show like a clip of them going like Owen picking up a girl and like walking down the street with her, and it's like that's like 2% of his game, probably. Like a lot of his game, right? A lot of, I don't know, guys who are really good, a lot of their game is just like really normal. Like they're just having an average kind of normal level conversation with a girl. It just seems very, very normal. If they showed that stuff, it would be boring to the viewers. So they're showing like the highlights, I feel like, just to show what's possible, sort of. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like the having fun thing and letting go is just kind of, like I said, it's an exercise. And I feel like girls can sense that you're able to do that, even if you're just standing there being normal. Because then if you've done that stuff, if you've exposed yourself to crazy situations where you're going wild, when the girl gets a little wild in front of you, you don't flinch. So like, I don't know if you've found this, like if you've, like the more you do game, mm-hmm. the more grounded you feel and the less you flinch when girls give you shit or whatever.
Yeah, she's in reaction to you, not to her.
Yeah.
All right. Any other, well, did that answer your question?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, cool. All right. You guys got anything else? Any other questions?
I got one more for you.
All right.
Does alcohol benefit you when it comes to game?
You know what? Here's the thing, man. I do drink, mm-hmm. but I don't drink if I'm specifically going to go do game. All right. Now, that being said, I'm kind of a weirdo when it comes to drinking. All right. And this is why I don't drink when I go to do game. All right. Like for most people, it's a social lubricant, right? It's, that's what they call it anyway. For me, I get less social if I drink. I actually get quiet. And the reason being, when I drink, I get in my head. Like, I know this sounds weird as hell, but like if I have to, like, if I'm contemplating major life decisions, that's when I drink because it forces me to be in my head and really think things through analytically. Yeah. So that's no fun when you're trying to go out and do game. Because the thing is, I feel like if I've been drinking, I start evaluating everything that's coming out of my mouth because it's like, oh, am I slurring my words? Am I coming off as stupid? Do I sound like a drunk guy right now? And so I just start second guessing everything I'm doing. And that's by and large why I don't drink. But even still, I don't recommend that guys drink when they're going to go out and do game.
Right.
Maybe a beer or something, whatever. But the thing is, you don't want it to become reliant on that. Like if I'm going to go do game, I have to have, I got to get some alcohol in me. You should be able to do game on the strength of your own, your own skill sets,
I
you know,
agree. Yeah.
being able to go out there and do it. Because then at a certain point in time, if you do it enough, it becomes a security blanket.
Right.
Where it's like, I have to, if like, I'm not opening a set till I've at least had 3 drinks in me, you know? And I think you're limiting your options, because like, what if you're in a position where you don't have any drinks in you, you know? And so what? You're like, you're gonna start drinking at the mall now? You know what I mean? Like, you know, so oh, this mall's awesome. It has a Chili's attached to it. I can go in there and get a Long Island iced tea or something. But you know, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not a fan of it. I don't think that it's a good idea.
Right.
You know, so that's my take on it. What do you think, Hussein? You live in Germany. People over there drinking beer night and day.
Oh yeah.
People here, they're like drinking a lot, especially beer. They love beer. But if you start drinking, then you will just telling yourself, okay, then I need to drink 1 beer, 2 beers. I need to get high, you know, before approach. So this will not be a good thing for your sessions, for your approach, for your game. So because you will think, oh, I need to do something. I need to do this before I approach, because you will become dependent on one thing that you need to achieve. And this is not a good behavior.
Yeah.
You will become dependent on one thing. So, I mean, you should be able to approach without anything, any additional, any external stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you may get more socially confident, but you become less game competent.
Yeah.
I
Like,
agree. Yeah.
you know, it's like, yeah, you know, you're not scared to approach or anything, but like all those witty things that normally come out of your mouth, now that witty thing is like, you're dumb. You know what I mean? Like just some stupid statement, like not witty at all, you know? Like, yeah, so man, I'm not a huge advocate of that.
I've lost so many connections because like I had like 3 shots of tequila and I was just like, man. So I stop. I don't encourage drinking when going out and then do gaming. So
Yeah, no doubt. You guys have any other questions?
Yeah, you're okay if I ask one more and I'll bounce?
Yeah.
I don't want to take too much time. But I do like to always ask a lot of questions, as you know.
I know this.
I always ask a lot of questions. So, all right. So you say that sales and game overlap quite a bit, which I agree, right?
Like 80%.
Mm-hmm. So in sales, from what I have read and from what I have learned, a lot of times you don't actually make the sale until the person has said no a couple times. Is that correct?
On average, it takes 6 no's before you get a yes.
So it's not the first time or even the second time or even the third time.
On average, yep, 6 no's before you get a yes on average.
So when it comes to game, we have this idea that being needy is a bad thing. And obviously being needy itself is a bad thing. But how does that compare to persistence?
Well, I think here's the deal. You know, I would say that, okay, when I say 6 no's to a yes, I'm looking at that from a real estate perspective. Okay. I wouldn't equate that to game in that statistic. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to get shot down 6 times and then ask her a 7th, you know? So here's the thing, man, you know, and I hear what you're saying.
I feel like a lot of guys hear one no from a girl and then they bounce in a set.
Yeah. I mean, right. Okay. So it depends on the no and what the no is for. So like, all right, for example, I'll frame this in a real estate example. So say I'm doing an open house. You're familiar with what an open house is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm doing an open house. And I'm talking to these people that came to the open house. You know, I don't know them. They're not clients of mine. They just were driving by. Oh, open house. We're looking for a house. Let's stop and look at this house. So they come in, and I'm like, you know, we get to talking, and I'm like, well, you know, I have a list here of other homes that are available. Say they don't want that house. I have a list here of other homes that are comparable in the area. You know, I don't know what you guys are doing after 4, but I get out of here at 4. How about I show you some of these houses today? Oh, no, we're busy. There's my first no. They're not saying no to me. They're saying no to the situation that I presented them.
Mhm.
So in the same vein, you know, you may be talking to a girl and you might say something to the effect of, I don't know, hey, how about we get out of here and we go across the street to get a slice of pizza? No, I'm trying to watch my weight. I'm not really trying to eat that right now. Okay, there's a no, but she's not saying like, no, get out of my face. You know what I mean?
Right, but
So-
at that point, I feel like most guys, I mean, including myself, oftentimes will think that, oh no, she just doesn't want to go with me. Period. They didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
but that's not necessarily true. That's a shit test, right? So you overcome that shit test and move on. You know, keep it rolling. You know, you brought up neediness, and I think guys get neediness and intent like confused.
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah. I mean, I
You
have
know, like,
many
dude,
times.
like I've said this example countless times. Am I needy when if I'm gonna like okay, for instance, before I had this Zoom call, I got carry out from a Lebanese place. Okay. All right. Was I needy when I called them and placed my order? No, I'm stating what I want. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, please give me food, Cleopatra's restaurant. Like, please make my chicken shawarma, you know? Like, I'm not being needy. I'm just, hey, listen, I need to get a chicken shawarma, some hummus, some bread, and I'm good. That's just me stating what I want. I'm not being needy about it at all. But guys get this, you know, if they're like, oh, we're actually out of chicken. Oh no, they don't want me to order from them. You know what I mean? Like, no, they're just happen to be out of chicken. I'll just get something else, you know? So that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, just because she says no to one thing doesn't mean that she's saying no to you. I like to say, you know, no, all no means is ask me differently. You know, I mean, if you, yeah, man,
That's a good way to put it. I like that.
and you know, it's like, yeah, obviously she's like, no, man, get away from me. Your breath stinks. Or whatever. You know, like, okay, fine. You know, you got blown out of set. She rejected you. It's a wrap.
All right.
Now it would be needy to be like, but you're the most beautiful woman I've ever saw, and if I could just have a scrap of your time, you know, like, yeah, that would be needy. But you know, but you just stating your intent and that you want to do something, and she says no to that specific thing. That doesn't mean it's a wrap. That means you just overcome it. That's all.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything to share? Thoughts on that, Troy? You look like you have about to burn a laser through the screen right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that like neediness, I don't know, I like to go internally and think about where neediness is coming from. Neediness is just needing it to work. So when I was trying to get over neediness, I used to like not text girls before the, day of the date or whatever. I would like avoid certain actions, but it's not really the taking action itself that's needy. It's like needing it to work. So for example, I remember this one night that kind of blew my mind was like, I was talking to this girl for like an hour at the bar, and I walked out of the bar with her and her friend. So we're on the street. It's like snowing. It's the middle of winter, and I was trying to get her to come to my car so I could give her a ride home, or go to her place or whatever. And so I was like, "Oh yeah, there's my car. Come on." And she was like, "I think I'm just gonna take an Uber with my friend, actually." And I remember in every single situation like that in the past, I had been like, "Oh, wait, but you don't want to come with it?" And then I would like kind of freak out. But like in that moment, I was just like, fuck it, no, just say goodbye. And I was like, all right, see ya. I just literally kept walking to my car. And then the next day, I called her up, went out to the bar, and then went back to my place after like an hour at the bar. And it's like in that situation, that to me was like a perfect example of when I tried something and then she wasn't ready for it at the time, and then it's like, okay. And so I mean, I feel like it's just like the taking action, never needy. Needing it to work is what makes it needy. Those are my thoughts on it. What about you, Hussein?
Like, I think if you think something is needy, then it's needy. Plus, if she wants the same thing, just as you want the same thing, she will help you. But if she doesn't, then she will put some walls onto your road, and you will feel that, and you will see that it's really hard to meet up. It's really hard to improve it. So if you think that something is needy, then it's a needy. It's up to you. First of all, you should not think it's a needy thing to do if you don't want to come up as needy. This is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other questions, guys?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like you were saying about being loud enough and speaking, what about if the whole situation is reversed and like you're talking to the girl and you can barely hear her and it's a loud environment and like she's wearing a mask and you have to ask her, like literally like 3 times throughout like what she's talking about, like, oh, say that again. What was that? So that was like my situation last week.
All right.
How would you go about that?
I call them out. Okay, so basically, here's let me tell you what you don't want to do, and then I'll tell you what to do. Okay, what you don't want to do is this. What was that? Could you say that again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay, just think of it like this: whoever leans loses. Don't lean into her like this. Like one of those. You ever see like those like toy like bird things with the like they drop into the water? Like that's what it's like. You know what I mean? Like everything that she says, you're just like, huh? Don't do that. What you want to do is not lean. And if you ask her what, like, I cannot hear you. What was that? And then if you still can't hear, I will say something like, listen, it's loud in here. You have a mask on your face. Nobody can hear you. So I need you to speak up at a reasonable volume that people can understand what you're saying. That's what I would say.
Okay.
I've said that before a million times because a lot of times girls will not speak up, especially if they're shy and they're like,
yeah, because that was kind of like the conversation. I could just barely understand her, and I was trying to, like I said last time I talked to you, find things in the conversation to pull from and like elaborate on. And it was literally just like if you're falling asleep, like hearing something and you just hear like one of every 5 words and you're just like, okay, this little detail, and you kind of clump like her story together into this.
Yeah. If there's been times that it's been, I will say this, I have faked like I heard what she said, but you can't have a whole converstion like that. You know what I mean?
I know. That's kind of what I wasn't trying to fake, but I was trying to just take the missing information and try to get, yeah.
There's one time I was doing an IGTV with this girl, female comedian, okay? And my phone has this weird thing about it. When I get a call when I'm doing IGTV, the volume drops significantly on my phone and I can't turn it up. Okay. It's just like a weird glitchy thing. And I'm in the middle of doing this IGTV with her. She's kind of a big deal, apparently. And grip of people watching, I can't hear hardly anything she's saying. And it wasn't her fault. It was my phone. And so I didn't want to end it because it was like kind of good for us. And if you go back and watch that, I promise you, you will not know that I couldn't hear. You know, like I was just reading her facial expressions. When she laughed, I laughed. You know, I could make out probably 1 out of every 10 words that she said. And the one word that I could pull out of it, I would ask her a question about that specific word. So if it was like Chicago, like, so do you go to Chicago often then? You know, and then she would expound on that. Okay. She'd laugh and I'd laugh, but I can't really hear her. You know what I mean? But you would never know. So sometimes, I mean, you could kind of get by with just kind of faking like you hear her, but you cannot have a whole conversation like that. That's for sure. You know, so yeah. Does that answer your question, Mike?
Yeah. So I didn't do too bad.
No, you're just don't lean in.
No, I didn't. I what I tried to do was the opposite, was turn my head and have her lean into me, which did help.
That's what you want. That's exactly what you want.
But it was still like nearly impossible to hear her. So, you know.
Yeah, no doubt. Then you got to call her out. You just got to be like.
Yeah, well, I'm learning because I'm like, you know, trying to start out again. And now I know, like, oh, let's go take a walk over here where I can hear you. But, you know, just something simple like that.
There you go. Yeah.
Dude, and that's awesome for like building comfort. You know, like bouncing her from place to place is good. Getting her alone, getting her alone is obviously good. Then you can start to build rapport and things like that. You know, that I've done that before in a loud environment. I could hear her, but I just wanted to hear her, you know, better in a place that I picked out because it's logistically better for me. So yeah. All right, you guys have any other questions? We're going to be running short on time because I got this set up till 11. So, you know, we got basically 20 minutes. So, so if you guys have any other questions, now is probably the time. The silence is deafening. All right, I'm going to take that as you don't have any other questions. So, all right, well, listen, guys, I really appreciate you guys being a part of this. I hope that you got value out of it, and I'm pretty sure you probably did. So, again, you know, thanks for being a part of Modern Valor Dating. Whether it's Instagram, the Facebook group, the YouTube channel, you know, however you found us, and however you stay up to date with us, you know, I definitely appreciate it. And, you know, we work really hard. Like there's about, you guys see about 20% probably of what we do. There's a whole other 80% that is, and Troy and Hussein know this very well, of things that we got coming up, and just a bunch of dope shit, man, that we got coming up that, you know, things I can't really announce yet and stuff like that. But, you know, goddamn, does it eat up a lot of time. So, you know, but it's all worth it, and it's all for you guys. Most of it's free. You know what I mean? I'm a big believer in giving out value, you know, so hopefully that resonates with you guys. And if you guys need anything, get at me. You know, obviously, like I said, you know, we can set up the coaching calls. I can get you in the mastermind group. And yeah, so Troy, Hussein, you guys have anything to add?
if you live in a small town dating, Modern Valor dating. If you're into gaming in Germany, want to learn from Hussein, Modern Valor dating in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't checked out modernvalordating.com, please go over there, check it out. There's some free stuff over there. And I'm really proud of that website. I think it looks really good. I'm super proud of it. And like, just go look at it and tell me how dope it was. That'll make my birthday. So, but all right, guys, I'm gonna cut this off and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And again, if you guys need anything, get at me. All right. So, peace.
Peace. Happy birthday, man.
Thanks.